Welcome to the Big Pop Podcast, the premier progressive pro wrestling podcast where we discuss the intersection of wrestling and leftist ideals. I am one of your co-hosts, Navthepoet, and I am joined by my always amazing co-host, Sully. How are you doing today?
I'm well. I'm doing good today.
Are
Looking
you
forward to the
ready?
episode.
Are you ready for today's episode?
I'm ready.
Yes, because today is a nice, fun episode where we talk about what we think are the worst and best wrestling finishers in the business. Feel free to share yours and agree or disagree with ours, which I have a feeling we'll have some disagreements from y'all. Anyway, Sully, you want to start us off?
Yeah, you know what? I'll start positive. I'll start positive. There's one that I really like, and it's a current WWE wrestler. I personally really like the Claymore.
Mmm.
I think and it's part of my philosophy. I love a finisher which can come out of nowhere, but like really come out of nowhere. Because the RKO, okay, you know what? Actually, no, it does come out of nowhere. But the
It does.
Claymore is like Drew McIntyre's just like, and bang, I'll just hit you with a Claymore.
Right.
And he like obviously when he's a babyface, he does the whole thing where he's like setting it up. But now that he's a heel, he just does it, and it's
Right.
awesome. Yeah, kind of. I just like finishers where it doesn't need this. It doesn't necessarily need this whole elaborate setup. It can just be
Yeah.
like, bang, I'll hit you with a finisher.
I didn't think of the Claymore, but you're absolutely right. I love it
Mm.
too. This I don't know if you know the story of how the Claymore came to be though. Uh, he
No,
talked
I don't.
he talked about this in an interview.
No.
He was in 3MB at the time, and he went for like a big boot, but
Mm.
he was wearing like leather pants, and there was
Yeah.
just like an issue, so he ended up doing a jump instead of just like
Yeah.
a running big boot, and he kind of got the idea from there.
Ah.
Um, yeah, I do love the Claymore. I for pretty much the exact reasons you've said.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I like when wrestlers have finishers that have a setup because it's fun with the
Yeah.
audience
Yeah.
engagement. But I
Yeah.
like that they can also pull it out of nowhere and it really just
Exactly.
like catches you off guard. With that, I wanted to say the RKO. It is like I want to acknowledge the
Mm.
RKO because
Yeah.
it's the RKO, but I don't want to go too much into what is there. There's so much you could say about
Yeah.
the RKO, but it's the RKO. Even the Sweet Chin music, like both of those
Mm.
are iconic in the same
Yeah.
vein as the Claymore, right? But I just wanted to mention them. I don't want to go too much on them.
Yeah, no, no, I agree.
But I'm gonna hit you with one that I think people forget about.
Okay.
It is the 054 by Mustafa Ali.
Oh, the when he would do like a tucked 450 backwards,
Yeah, the
wasn't it?
imploding
With the
450. Yeah, he called it the
yeah,
054.
I
Just
forgot all about that.
yeah, I mean he stopped doing it even while he
Yeah.
was like in WWE, but I always loved it and it's so it has to be so precise because
Mm,
he's like tucking backwards, like there's such
yeah.
a danger to it. But I think it's so cool and it's innovative because it's just different, right? Like we've
Hmm.
seen the 450 so much now that when he first did the 054 and just again the
Yeah.
name, like the concept of literally just flipping it, I was just like, okay, that's clever. I think it's pristine.
Yeah, I like top rope moves. I think top rope moves are pretty cool.
Yeah.
As you brought one up, I'll very quickly mention the frog splash. Uh,
Mm,
I'm biased because of my love for Eddie Guerrero, but
sure.
also when Montez does it, he gets so
Yeah.
much height on it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think top rope finishes are pretty neat.
RVD gets the distance, and
Yes.
he gets good
Yeah.
height too, but he gets the distance.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with the frog splash. I agree.
Mm, yeah.
What a fantastic one. I am gonna move to worst for a moment though.
Yeah.
And this is probably gonna upset people, but I don't care. I think the Soul Snatcher is one
Yeah.
of the worst finishers. I know people are obsessed with it because it looks cool,
Yeah.
but it is so convoluted and it requires such a setup, it makes it a bad finisher.
I 100% agree with you on that. Like, cool move, obviously, but I don't watch NXT, But when I see the Soul Snatcher and I see clips, I don't know if it's because NXT talent are more green, they struggle
Mm,
selling it, but it looks very obvious that the other person is jumping into the move.
yeah,
And so then it's like, oh, well, I can only suspend my disbelief so much. And
yeah,
also, you're gonna get hurt if you mess up that move. And like with
yeah.
the 054, I don't want wrestlers getting hurt. I'd rather you have a more basic finisher than one that potentially you're gonna get a concussion or worse.
Right. Yeah. And for me, it's not the jump into it. It's
Hmm.
the setup where you literally see the wrestler walk closer, like they
Hmm.
groggily move towards her as she
Yeah.
runs up. And I'm just like, this, like you said, I can only suspend my disbelief for so much.
I feel like that's an NXT thing.
Maybe.
Like whenever I watch NXT sometimes I see them doing that for quite a few finishers where yeah, but still it's like you don't want to see that at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll go with another negative one. And this is my controversial one. I don't like the choke slam. I think the
Whoa.
choke slam's a bad finisher. I get it in the context that normally it's really tall guys that use the choke slam, and so
Sure.
it's like, oh, he's putting them 15 feet in the air somehow and throwing them down. But it's like, it's such a nothing move. Like, it entirely relies on the other person to sell being scared. I feel
True.
like I don't know if it was Undertaker or Kane, where I kind of don't mind it because people would sell it and one of them would hold them from the bottom. I can't remember which one of them it was. And so
Usually
it kind of
Taker.
like yeah, so it kind of looks like the person's higher than they actually are.
Mm.
But when everyone else does the choke slam, like I think Damian Priest briefly did the choke slam, or at least the South of Heaven maybe is kind of a choke slam.
It is, but
Yeah.
like I don't know, maybe the sit down makes it. I don't
Yeah.
know how you feel about that actually. That's
I think it's the choke part that I don't like, the choking
okay.
and lifting them up. I just feel like it's such a basic finish. And I think also because wrestling's evolved from the point where it was all like 7'9" dudes wrestling, where now it's just like I don't see the need for it.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I definitely don't agree, but
Yeah.
I can understand your points.
Yeah.
But I mean, Kane, especially when he was Mass Kane, like 2001 Kane, those
Hmm.
choke slams he delivered were fantastic. Incredible, dude. Like he was one-handing these people. He was
Yeah.
straight up just up and down. I think it was in the
True.
Rumble 2001. He was just choke
Choke
slamming
slams
person
for
after
everyone.
person, and it was incredible. Because that Kane was also not only near 7 foot, like he was ripped.
Just
He had like the
brolic.
biggest
Yeah.
biceps ever. So it just looked like it would cause pain. Like the impact because the people
Yeah.
were selling it in a way that made it
True.
feel real. But I do see your point of overall, it's a pretty just like it's a lift and a slam, right? Like,
Yeah.
with that, I will list another verse that is in
Okay.
line with that concept of like, oh, it's just a lift and a slam. The Olympic slam, aka the angle slam.
Oh,
I don't think
okay.
it's a good move.
Oh, just because kind of is like you just picking him up and dropping him over.
Yeah, it's literally your same logic. I mean, it's a different type of
Yeah,
pickup, but it's literally just picking them up and spinning them a bit, and
yeah,
and like especially when you do it on bigger dudes, like smaller dudes,
mm,
it looks good, but on
yeah,
bigger dudes like Big Show or Brock Lesnar,
mm,
it was a struggle. So it would just like, oh, it just fall down.
yeah. I agree with that actually because I think when you had like Shane McMahon selling it, it's great because Shane McMahon can throw himself really
Right,
far and is just a freak.
right.
But
They'll
when he
like
was
roll or tumble or like
yeah,
something.
but when he did it to like Big Show just flat bump,
Yeah,
which obviously it makes sense for him to flat bump, but it doesn't look amazing when he's
yeah,
doing that. Yeah.
yeah. And
Okay.
so it's like, yeah, it's just kind of for someone like Kurt Angle, who's
Hmm.
so talented, so technically gifted, who's so
Yeah.
skilled, it definitely made sense for him to use the ankle lock more as a finisher.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like Vince didn't like submission finishes.
No,
He
probably not.
only did he really only did them like when he was like, I need a gimmick. I need a submission match.
Yeah.
Um, I want to go for a positive one. I want to go back to so the choke slam associated with the Undertaker. I really like the last ride
Mm,
because I think the way it's basically a power bomb.
yeah.
But when Taker pushes them up to slam, it looks cool as hell.
Oh yeah.
Particularly, I obviously it's the Rey Mysterio cell of the choke slam. Oh, sorry,
Oh.
the choke slam. The last ride is
Oh.
crazy.
That's not the one I was thinking of.
Oh, which one were you thinking?
The one he does to Nunzio. He's literally holding him up, and Nunzio, yeah, it's so good. It's so good.
I'm rich now thinking it's basically a power bomb slash Razor's Edge.
Yeah,
That's awesome. Yeah,
right.
and I like the Razor's Edge actually as well.
Yeah, I will
Um,
throw in the Spirit Bomb, Keith Lee's power bomb. It's pretty much
yes.
the last ride, right?
Yeah.
But like he sits. I think he sits down with
He
it.
sits down on it.
As does Kenta, right? Not Kenta, sorry, Kota Ibushi. Um,
Yeah.
he does a similar, yeah, like a
Yeah.
elevated power bomb, like you said. But yeah, I
Hmm.
just mentioning, but yeah, so it's in that
Yeah.
family. But yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with the last ride. I also think the Tombstone is a
Yeah.
top tier finisher. Like before I started to realize that he wasn't actually dropping them on his
Dropping
head,
on the yeah,
I
it
was
was
so
scary.
sold. I was just like, my
Yeah.
goodness, that is so
He
devastating.
killed them.
Yeah, and like in a real context, when you think about it, like any pile
Mm.
driver, but something about the
Yeah.
Tombstone, maybe it's the whole setup with Taker's gimmick, the throat slash,
Yeah.
and the it just looks more. It looks more powerful.
Yeah, I definitely think the way Taker sold like setting it up was and also when they would do reversals of it, was like, oh
Yeah,
my God, they reversed the tombstone. I
right.
think Randy Orton in particular was quite good at doing that.
I think the reason the Tombstone is special is because along with Taker, there was an aura around that move compared
Hmm.
to like anyone else doing a pile driver,
Yeah.
right? At least until in WWE, at least until pile drivers were banned, like
Yeah.
there was an aura to the Tombstone because it was the only real finisher pile driver that they had for a long time. Um,
Yeah. I feel like
and
no one else was using a pile driver in
No, not
WWE.
not for a while, right?
Hmm.
Like maybe when Mick Foley was Cactus Jack for a little bit, he was using
Hmm.
it. But I think even
Yeah.
then he had the double arm DDT. Like
Yeah.
the pile driver was not super common as a finisher for people. So the one we did see was the Tombstone, and then you
Hmm.
combine that with the aura of the Undertaker, and it's
Yeah.
like, oh, this is. And no one really did kick out of it for probably like 20 years or something.
Hmm.
Maybe Kane
Also,
kicked out, but
Kane probably did. Uh, uh, to be honest, I liked the way he would do the pin as well because it
yes.
was just to put his hands on them. It's like, oh, okay, shit,
That's
bro's
what I'm
got
saying. It was
aura.
like everything. Like even in video games, they would label that as the rest in peace. Like it was its own
Yeah,
move. The pin was so it's just like the
yeah.
whole aura and concept of everything around the tombstone is what makes it
Hmm.
like an S tier finisher.
Yeah. I think if we are, I don't know why. I just okay. This is such a jump, but to a negative one.
That's fine.
I don't know. I don't know why you talking about the Tombstone made me think about Liv Morgan.
Oh,
I do not like the Oblivion.
fair.
I think the Oblivion is a bad move, and this is coming from someone who started to appreciate Liv Morgan's work.
Yeah,
I think that move requires way too much setup. You need your opponent to be next to the ropes,
yeah,
and I mean, you could probably like adjust the move so you don't need to be next to the ropes. It'd kind of be like a jumping DDT, basically.
yeah.
But I get Liv Morgan's a little bit shorter, so maybe that's why she can't just do a jumping DDT. But I'm sure she's got a decent vertical, man.
But it doesn't have to be a DDT. It could very much be a move that I like a lot, which
Mm.
is it's known as the pay dirt, Shelton Benjamin's
Hmm.
move. It's known as the little
Yeah.
Jimmy, our Truth's move, It's known as the
Yeah.
Playmaker, I think it's called for MVP.
Hmm.
Don't know why a lot of black men were using that same finisher. It's you just jump up and it's literally the Oblivion, but just standing.
I think the playmaker is a different move
I
because
forget what he calls it. Maybe he calls it the 305 or something. He
I,
calls it
yeah, yeah, yeah. The
yeah,
playmaker's
Playmaker is the stupid overdrive thing.
playmaker's on my list. I don't like the playmaker. It's a
Yeah,
rubbish move.
but
Uh,
but yeah, she could just do that. The
yeah,
jumping, kind of like what's that move? Flatliner, basically.
yeah.
Um, she or just use the she uses the code breaker a lot. She could just use
Hmm.
that as her
Yeah,
finisher. I agree. The setup, it's much like the Soul Snatcher, where it's like the setup, and a lot of the time, I don't know whose fault it is, but
yeah.
it doesn't connect well. Someone rolls or they like
Mm-hmm.
fall weird. I don't know whose fault it is. It's just a very awkward landing.
I think it's just because the ropes are in the way. It's different. Someone might have their arm hooked, or her legs might get stuck, so
Right.
it gets a bit difficult. And
I
obviously, when they've been wrestling for about 5, 10 minutes, they're tired as well.
Yeah, I do think it is that she jumps into it, and I think
Mm-hmm.
immediately the other person tends to want to fall right away,
Mm-hmm.
but she's going in and then coming out, right?
Yeah.
And so there's a bit of a delay, and so there's that
Mm-hmm.
awkwardness. I will say in the more recent ones I've seen, it has been set up nicely. Like someone
Mm-hmm.
will get hit with like a enziguri or a code breaker, and
Mm-hmm.
then they kind of like flop and climb up
Stump
to the.
onto it.
It
Yeah.
works. Like I'm just saying, like it. Yes, it's still telegraphed, but it's
Mm-hmm.
smoother versus in previous instances where it was just very like, oh, they're just picking themselves up off
Yeah.
the rope. Like this is like from one move to another, the sequence flows a bit better.
Yeah.
But I agree. I can't believe I didn't think of the Oblivion. You are so
Mm.
right.
Do you have any other positives?
Oh yeah. I'm gonna kind of put these two in the same category because they're very similar. But the GTS
Hmm.
and the Feast Your Eyes Dijax move, where he puts them
Oh, yeah.
inverted. It's they're both pretty much
Yeah.
the same move, just one's flipped. The body is flipped in a different direction.
Yeah.
But I love both of them. I don't know why. They're nothing special. It's a knee to the face that's just assisted with a little push. Like it's nothing, but it
Yeah.
just something about it when they get put up on the shoulders, I get so hyped.
I think it's like you said, like you can really sell it as well. Can't I guess it's the one good part of the AA. I think we both agree we don't like the attitude adjustment as a move because it's just a Death
No,
Valley driver.
not as a finisher.
But yeah, yeah, it's a decent just move. Like it's a setup for a finisher.
Yeah,
Um, but I think the ability to be able to really sell it, and I think Punk in particular does that pretty well. He just
yeah,
sells it. Like I've gotten this guy up, I'm going to hit him with a GTS, and it's a good and it's a cool move to be able to counter because
right.
he kind of pushes them up so they can jump off
Yeah.
and hit them. Well, Dolph Ziggler probably could hit a zigzag out of that.
And also
Um,
just, I mean, a knee to the face
yeah.
is just devastating in and of itself. Like if you just took someone's head and smashed it into your knee, that alone is like, okay, that's intense.
I think in general, any move with a knee is pretty cool and
Yes.
like pretty devastating. Like, I saw Stephanie Vacour's finisher. It's like
Oh yeah, the SVB, the
where it's like she
backbreaker.
like yeah, it's like a package into backbreak on her knee. I'm like,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
It that one, I'll be honest, took me a bit to accept as a finisher.
Hmm.
Just because I was like, it is just a backbreaker. And like how many
Yeah.
backbreakers are really finishers? But it took me a while to accept as a finisher.
Hmm.
As a move, it's great, but
Yeah.
just as a finisher, I was like, ah. But like, I love the Irish Curse, Sheamus's
Yeah.
backbreaker. Uh, yeah, like the chiropractor, even though it's more on the neck, I feel like it's very much
Mm.
like a backstabber. I love knee moves so much.
Did Bobby Roode use a knee move? I have a feeling he had a finisher similar to Stephanie's. I don't know, I'm just thinking.
Not to my recollection, but I'm not
Yeah,
that
I don't know.
well versed in Bobby Roode.
If you know if Bobby Roode used a knee move as his finisher, comment down below
This
and let
is
us know.
this is why a move that I think people tend to hate on, I actually don't mind,
Hmm.
which is Austin Theory's A-Town ATL, I think it's called.
Hmm.
He puts them and he swings them and then drops their face on his knee.
Maybe that's the move I'm thinking about. Maybe I'm
Maybe.
thinking about that.
Yeah. it isn't the great or the people don't sell it that well, but again, knee moves, I'm almost 100% sold on any knee
Hmm.
moves.
Yeah. Are there any other ones that I can think of? Just a knee move,
I mean,
just a
the
bit of a
V
tangent.
trigger,
Yeah. Oh shit, the V-trigger's
Brian's,
crazy.
I don't know what if he calls it, the Busaiko knee or whatever.
Yeah.
Like there's so many knee moves that the code breaker even. I like the code breaker just because it's two knees to the face.
How I can't remember what it's called, but have you seen Kota Ibushi's finisher, where he just holds them and he just basically pulls them in as he
Oh yeah.
knees them in the face?
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
Bumaya, no, that's Shinsuke's finisher, but I can't.
Kamigoye or something like that.
Maybe. Yeah,
That's like
I think him
the
and yeah,
the video game name for that I have seen is
yes,
Kamigoye.
yeah,
Maybe he has his own name. I think even
yeah. I
Blair
can't remember.
Davenport has done that. Yeah, just
Yeah,
like the two.
just
Yeah,
cold.
any knee move, I'm so sold, dude. I think it's like I came up with a move for a created wrestler where like
Hmm.
they do a springboard. It's like the um what's it called? It's like the disaster kick, but instead of the
Yeah,
foot, it's the knee.
it's the
They
knee.
just
That's
jump and
sick.
they hit a knee. Just like,
Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any
Big
more?
knee
I have
guys over here.
yeah. I got a couple more, especially in the worst category, and the one more best.
This might be one you might not agree with me with. I like the figure four.
Hmm.
I think the figure four is overhated. I get it; it's a stupid move. Um,
That thing's
but
great.
like the drama from
Yeah.
it is amazing, and like the whole you you roll over and it somehow transfers the pain to
Yeah.
the other person is like like this doesn't make any sense at all, but it's awesome.
Yeah. No, I like the figure four a lot. I wouldn't say it's
Okay.
one of the best.
Yeah, no, of course.
But if we're talking submissions, yeah. I mean, I think figure four across the ring post is where it's at.
Yes,
Like,
I was also thinking of that. Yeah, it's just like this doesn't make any sense, but it's amazing.
yeah. But in a similar vein, I love the Anaconda Vice.
Does he use that still? I've not seen him use it
Sometimes,
in a
yeah.
while.
No, he's used it. I've seen him use it against Drew before.
Mm-hmm.
Um, he used it against Cena. Yeah, they used
Oh,
it
okay.
when they had in the chamber. They had a whole sequence which was
Oh,
like
yes. Yeah.
super similar to their Money in the Bank 2011 sequence.
Mm-hmm.
I even made a video about it. But yeah, I love the Anaconda Vice. I just first of all the name just is dope.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean it's a chokehold.
Yeah.
The Coquina Clutch. If we're talking
Yeah.
submissions specifically,
Yeah.
I mean so many people do a rear naked choke, but there's something
Mm-hmm.
about Joe doing the Coquina Clutch.
It's just he has aura when he's doing it.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
What do you've got one more. Let's go
best.
for like yeah,
Let's
the
I'll
best.
hit you with some worsts first.
Okay.
Um so this is a specific wrestler's
Mm.
move version of it. Braun
Okay.
Breaker's spear is one of the worst finishers.
What do you mean? It's got so many YouTube views, dude.
It's so okay. Half the time it doesn't connect well. I don't know whose fault it is. I'm not gonna blame Braun specifically, but it doesn't connect well. It looks awkward. The whole
Mm.
run around, just all of it, it's just like it's too much.
Yeah.
It's really not. It's the fact that it's so overhyped. I now move it to the worst. It's not actually one of the worst, but I move it to the worst because of how much hype is put behind it.
Women's wrestlers are so much better at hitting a spear.
Yeah.
Like Kyrie Sane's spear is
Oh,
crazy.
the
I
interceptor is so good.
I don't know why, but women are so
I
much better at
didn't
hitting the spear.
I didn't mention, yeah, the Kyrie Sane just has a great like treasure trove of moves that I
Oh,
love.
her elbow drop is like
Yeah.
beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah. Even I will say Charlotte does a good spear. I don't like Charlotte
Yeah.
for a lot of things, but
Hmm.
she does the spear really well.
Men, stop doing the spear. Women, all do the spear. Let's flip it.
Yeah. I got two, which are from two legends.
Okay.
So one is the 619.
Oh, okay. Controversial.
It's fun, but it's not a
Yeah.
finisher.
What about when Gunther hits a 619?
Has he done it?
He used to do it on the indies. It
Okay,
was
that might be
crazy.
interesting. That might be cool. I prefer when EO does it or when
Hmm.
Wes Lee does it, but they do his signatures, right?
Yeah.
But like,
It's not the
and I guess
finish.
people argue that Ray doesn't, it's not his finisher because he does the frog splash or a splash after it.
Or the West Coast pop when he was about 30 years
Yeah,
younger.
West Coast Pop is
That was
amazing.
sick.
So dope. So people could argue it's not really a finisher, but I consider it a finisher.
Yeah.
I consider the whole sequence the finisher, fine.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, it's cool, it's fun,
Yeah.
but like again, it's just as a finishing move
Hmm.
sequence, it's kind of bland.
Okay.
And
No,
then my
yeah,
other, oh sorry, go ahead.
no, I get it. I think I that was like one I was thinking, maybe I don't like that too much.
Yeah. And then my other one is the Judas effect.
Oh God. Oh my, yeah. I don't know why he started doing that.
I don't
Obviously, he
know.
started doing it to sell his own song, but
But he could just renamed the code breaker to the Judas effect. He didn't have to make up a new bad
uh,
move.
which was really funny because he started doing the Judas effect. I think when he went to New Japan, and
Hmm.
he had that like a career renaissance with his matches with Kenny and also Naito. I think he won the
Mm.
world title. Um, so like he everything else he was doing was awesome. He had another finisher he was using there, which was sick, but I can't remember what it was. But then he was like, "Let me just punch you." Like,
Yeah, it's an elbow, isn't
huh?
it? It's an elbow.
Yeah, it was Cena who did the punch
Yeah,
to
oh
sell
that.
that one movie.
Yeah. So yeah, I can't like. There's a lot about Jericho that I'm like kind of off put by at this point,
Dude,
but
mate, as someone who watches AEW, it's better when he's not there.
yeah. So, but this was like when I heard they started doing this stupid running elbow, I was just like,
Yeah.
why? Just use the code breaker.
Hmm.
Like
The code.
Andrade does this 1,000 times better,
Yeah.
and he doesn't use that as his finisher, which I honestly think it should be his finisher. That fake out boot into the
Hmm.
elbow, I think that would be a
Yeah.
perfect finish because it's like again out of nowhere, so it's a bit more like, oh okay, like I can believe it
Hmm.
because it just came out of nowhere. The surprise and then the
Exactly.
impact is what will knock you out.
Yeah. And then you use that to set up your actual finisher.
Yeah.
Does Andrade still do the Hamlock DDT?
No, he uses, I think he calls it the message. It's like a double underhook lift slam.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it's different.
I don't
I
know. He
like the
doesn't win
double.
much, so who knows?
Exactly, yeah. I like the double hook DDT. I've got one more negative.
All right, hit me with
Actually,
it.
no, I've got two. I've got two,
I'll
but they
go
can be
for it.
short. First, do you know the buckshot lariat?
Yes,
I don't like the buckshot
fair.
because I'm like, your knees up. Your knees are gonna be wrecked in like
Yeah.
5 years. Please stop.
Also, like, okay, so I've never seen how Hangman does it. I will say this,
Mm,
but when I have seen Logan Paul do it and
mm.
other people, there's a pause within the landing,
Yeah,
and that's awkward to me.
Hangman does it a lot better, where
Okay,
he doesn't pause, he just goes through with it.
let me
But
see.
also, I feel like that will mess up his knees even more.
Oh, sure.
Because at least Logan Paul is like, he sells it terribly, but he stops on like his toes to basically cushion the impact and then goes into lariat. But Hangman is just like, yeah, fuck it, we ball, and flips onto his knees and goes into a lariat.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
that's more, yeah, it's more in the category of, please, I don't want you to get hurt. Stop this.
right. Also, does the flip really add anything?
It looks cool in it.
It is just a it's hilarious.
Very quickly negative.
Yeah.
The greatest move to ever be done, Warrior Splash.
Oh man. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
just stop and then jump.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have anything else?
Um, Skull Crushing Finale, not a fan.
Fair.
It's like a worse BFT. Um,
I don't know about that. I think the
yeah.
BFT is worse because the BFT always looks awkward. As much as I like LA Knight,
Yeah.
like I feel like they don't know whether to go down or
Not
at least like with
sick.
the Miz, you have
Is
the
it a stunner?
timing because of the
Yeah.
leg sweep. Whereas like it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's
It's like,
very
is this a stunner? No? Okay.
yeah, it's
Uh,
awkward. I would
and
put
the Yeah. Okay.
I would just put the Skull Crush finale above the BFT. I'm not saying it's like best category, but yeah.
And then I think one last best one. I love the Burning Hammer. Um,
Oh,
I know
yeah,
they don't do it in WWE, and rightfully so,
yeah,
because I mean Kenta Kobayashi basically killed dudes with it.
yeah,
But it's crazy because in the UK you see it a lot more
sure.
because of the strong style in the UK. So whenever you see it at an indie show, you're like, oh my fucking God, he hit a burning hammer.
Yeah.
Um, oh yeah, it's just a crazy move.
I don't know if you're gonna agree with this. I just think it's like so devastating. It just looks so devastating,
Hmm.
and 85% of it is because of who's doing it.
Mm.
It's Ilya Dragunov's H bomb. It's just an elbow to
Yeah,
the face, and it just
yeah.
looks so brutal, though.
I yeah, I think elbow moves are in the same category as the knee moves.
Yeah,
I think like you mentioned the hidden blade, where before we were recording, and it's similar to the H bomb, where it's like if I get elbowed in the face, mate, or elbowed in the back of the head.
yeah.
It's like okay, I mean, what can I do?
But especially when he does the leap, because he has like
Yeah,
variants,
he's
right?
just
So he
like
has one where he just like
yeah,
it's just right on top of you, but then he has where he runs and jumps.
jumps. Yeah, it's like
And
oh my God.
And it's the fact that he doesn't like, like some people they like roll off when they do a move to like, he
Yeah,
just plops onto you. So
yeah.
it just, and I've seen it do to the back of the head, to the face, and I'm just like,
There's
again, it's Ilya selling it so well.
yeah.
And so it just looks like he also like somehow killed himself while doing it or like he just so it took the last bit of energy, and so it's
Hmm.
the performance that really. But and I just love Ilya Dragunov, and so I was just like, I think the H bomb. I play as him so much just to hit the H bomb. It is so fun to hit the H bomb on people.
Yeah, yeah, you know what? I think we've kind of found what we like and we don't like. We
Yeah,
like we like moves that feel like they're real.
yeah,
Oh, actually, no, yeah, with the knee moves as well,
yeah. It's
like
strikes. I think we both
strikes.
really like strikes because those do tend to feel the most real
Mm,
and have the most impact
yeah,
opportunity um versus like slams I think are like our
yeah.
least favorite type of things. What do y'all think about our list? What are your best and worst finishers? Please disagree with us in the comments below. I'm happy to fight everyone about the Soul Snatcher and how trash it is. uh, but yeah. Sully, where can they find you?
The people can find me at kayfabe crimes. That's crimes with a K. That's basically anywhere you can find the people who are talking about things on the social media.
And you can find me at Navthepoet, Nav the poet, no spaces, no underscores. And you can find our podcast on YouTube here, the Big Pop Podcast, and on Instagram and TikTok at the Big Pop Pod.
Hit your friends with a finisher.
Yeah, until next time.